This is the On to Mark Wrestling Podcast. Kick back and hang with your hosts, Kayode, Lewis, and Joel. Let's mark out.
Yes, y'all. We are back, baby. Let's go. This is episode 144 of On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. I am your boy, Kayode, joined none other than by Joel, the shill himself, AEW shill. Let me be specific, AEW shill. And the administrator himself, Lewis. Fellas, it's been a while, fellas. It's been a while. The people missed us. I missed us. And we are back for another episode. Tonight, right now, as we are talking, Dynamite is going on right now. And right now, the main event is happening. You got the Bucks, you got Kenny. It's a whole thing going on. And AEW is doing this thing where they're going over with time. They're roughly going to about 10:30. Do you fellas think that Tony Khan is experimenting with the possibility of moving the shows to a 2-hour 30 or 3-hour show? What's your thoughts, fellas? Is this a possibility?
No, I don't think so. I think if anything, he's probably taking notes. I'm just speculating, but he's probably taking notes from the way WWE does with Raw on Netflix, because Raw isn't slotted for 3 hours per se, but the overrun usually hits to like 2 hours and 20 minutes, around that mark. So he's probably like, you know what? I have a very loaded talent roster. So why not just maximize the time? TBS and Warner was probably like, we don't have to cut you off at 9 on the dot. You know, we're cable television, and we don't have like a news broadcast coming on afterwards. So it's like, we need to do an overrun. And on top of that, you're streaming simultaneously on HBO Max. So he's probably thinking, you know what? Let me just embrace the overrun and just let it go. Let it go to about 10:30 Eastern. I mean, sometimes it can feel like it drags on a tad bit, but I think it works because it's like that sweet spot. Like if it's 2 hours and 25 minutes versus like a whole 3 hours, it really is that sweet spot, because I don't want to sit there and watch something for 3 hours unless it's like a special, really special presentation. So it's a nice way to experiment. I don't think that he'll officially go to 3 hours, but he's got the talent roster for it. So,
yeah, he's got it. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I think he's experimenting a little bit. I don't think he's gonna like officially make the show a 3-hour show or a 2.5-hour show, but it's nice when it seems like the network has confidence in the product to be like, yeah, take as much time as you want. And it's entertaining at the end of the day. So as long as it keeps the pace of the current show, I think it'll be fine. If it gets to like how Lewis said, 3 hours, and then it might feel like a drag, because those 3-hour Raws back in the day were a drag. Man. But the big difference here is that AEW gives you nonstop action throughout it. So it's not like you're going to be that bored. But at the same time, like Lewis said, watching 3 hours of anything is hard. Like unless you're watching like a movie or something, it's hard to just sit there for 3 hours. Yeah. And even then, sometimes it's hard to watch a 3-hour movie. And expecting your fan base to watch 3 hours of your show every week, that's pretty hard. So I would hope that he doesn't get to the 3-hour mark, but he does have the talent, like Lewis said. So we'll see.
We'll see, man. We'll see. But right now, the average is about 10:30, 10:35 at AEW. And like we said, I'm not mad at it. We
just gotta figure out our recording, because we always record after Dynamite.
Yeah, this is the thing, Tony. You messed us up, but we might just have to just go on and just make comments while the show is actually going on. So we'll see what happens. But fellas, we gotta get to the show, because we gotta talk a little bit about none other than Rey Mysterio, showing some love to your boy Rey. Yes. All right, enough. Yep. And now we're showing some love to Rey. because Ray had a
Booyaka,
match
booyaka.
on Monday Night Raw that their boy almost turned the clocks back a little bit.
Yo,
Ray said to everybody, I ain't done yet. I'm prematurely in the Hall of Fame as well. I'm still going. Like
yeah,
he's Hall of
Yo,
Faming
word.
and still going
word.
at 100%. He's on. He's at AAA. He's doing Raw. Listen. Ray looked great. The match was good. We had to show some love on this show to Ray. Joel, what did you think, man? What's your thoughts? Ray's still doing this thing out here, man.
Yeah, man. I gotta say, like, I watched Raw on delay because I can't watch the live show anymore. I skip through commercials. But I gotta say, this episode of Raw was actually really good with the in-ring work. I was very surprised. I think every match on the actual show was good. Even the women's matches, the luchador matches for the tournament, everything was good. But the highlight to me was this Rey Mysterio versus Chad Gable match. And man, I had to look up real quick to see when did Rey Mysterio debut. According to Wikipedia, he debuted in 1989 when he was 14 years old. And he is still putting on bangers in 2026. This man is 51 years old. He has outlasted people who have debuted after him, like John Cena, Brock Lesnar, AJ Styles. These are big names. He has outlasted them, and he is still putting on banger matches, man. I think when it's all said and done, we are all going to have Rey Mysterio on our top 10 list of all time. He has to be. Like, there's never been a bigger luchador, at least in the United States. You know, you could argue El Santo, you could argue Mystico, you could argue all these guys, but in the United States, there has never been that crossover luchador like Rey Mysterio. He's been doing it for decades at this point. He's done it everywhere he's gone. He is incredible, man, and he looks like you said, he looks like he turned back the clocks.
Yeah, man.
Like he's wearing like his old gear now. He's not wearing like the shirt like he was doing for a long time.
Right.
He got the long pants again with the baggy pants. It looks like he's going backwards, and he looks good, man, and he's freaking killing it. He's doing springboards. He's doing all types of stuff. I'm like, is this guy ever gonna stop? like
Yeah,
you said,
man.
he already got inducted to the Hall of Fame years ago at this point, and he's still doing it, man. Like, I don't know what it is, but man, God bless modern medicine or whatever he's doing. Because the fact that he's able to, he might be hurting today. You know, a couple days after, he might be in the ice bath or something. But during that match, I was like, holy shit, this feels like WCW Rey Mysterio. This feels like 1996. It feels like Ray doing the shit that made us fall in love with him back in the day. And man, we really got to give it up to him.
Yeah, man.
Yo,
yeah.
for real.
Luke, what's your thoughts on Ray, man? Did you, if you saw the match, if you're not, but Ray's still doing it at a pretty high level, man. What's your thoughts?
I didn't get to see the match, but I'm hearing about all the acclaim. And Rey Mysterio versus Chad Gable on paper, it should be a barn burner of a match. I mean, you got two world-class athletes there. And Joel gave a really solid point as far as, like, you know, he's very legendary, very I don't it's hard to describe Rey Mysterio because he really is an enigma. But he's so adored by generations of fans. He's the first luchador that I remember laying my eyes on as a little boy, and he's one of the first people that got me into wrestling. Really, the things that he was doing was just absolutely incredible, and I was like, he's doing all of that at his stature and his size.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I could do that. And, you know, that's not that wasn't an insult to him, and in fact, it was like an inspiration. I was like, man, I got to go out of my way to see Rey Mysterio, even on WCW Saturday Night, you know, on TBS.
Yeah.
And I've always enjoyed Rey Mysterio's work. You know, his mic work is whatever, but that's not why you pay to see him. That's not why you tune in to see him. And I'm very happy that he still can do what he does because very few legends and icons can still perform at that level. And if this match against Chad Gable proves anything, is that he could probably go on like a real solid final run as either a contender for the IC title or even throw him in a world title mix. I don't know, but I think he he can definitely have a very solid run going forward.
Yeah, man, I agree, bro. But we got to talk about something else in this match. All right, something else in this match, and it's something that I did bring up in one of my quick videos of mine, and that is Gable. Gable, like, come on, bro. When I saw him do that, I was like, are they trying to destroy his career? Like, what was that Dad Rock Bon Jovi stuff he was doing when he was doing the Gable dance? Like, come on, bro. We gotta bring this up. Gable, man, they are trying everything to get this man over. Everything. New music, new attitude, a title, everything. Putting him in matches with legends, all this stuff. And it just seems like it ain't hitting with the audience. Like, it just doesn't seem like they care. Like, 95% of that audience was cheering for Rey. Even when Gable was doing great spots and all this stuff, he really didn't get much. Fellas, is it me and like I said, I mentioned this in a quick video you could check on the Mark Wrestling Instagram. But is Gable over or not? Like, is this a failed experiment in a way, or do we need to wait and see? What's your thoughts, Joe? What's your thoughts, man?
I think it's at the moment I'm at a wait and see approach right now, just because I feel like he hasn't really gotten to sink his teeth into like a real feud yet since he came back from AAA and being original Grande Americano or whatever the case was. And now that he's back and he is the IC champion, I feel like he needs some type of villain that to like make him be the babyface. He's still feuding with the luchadors. It's more of a respect thing now. It is like a babyface respect thing. But at the same point, you're putting him up against a legend, like we just mentioned, Rey Mysterio. So of course the fans are going to want Rey to win that match. And that's what we saw happen towards the end of that match. The fans were expecting Rey to win. They wanted Rey to win. And then Chad got the win at the end. So like it's not the best position to put your brand new babyface in, because it kind of is like, obviously the fans are going to cheer for the legend.
That's true.
But in my opinion, I think if you put him up against a dastardly villain, I don't know who's out there at the moment, maybe like a Ethan Page or a Rusev, someone who he could just have like a real blood type of feud with, obviously still come out on top, but like you kind of have that little bit of like, damn, is he about to lose the IC title already? You got to give the fans something to like expect. And right now it's kind of like, he's just there. And like you said, they're trying things with the dad rock and the clapping, but it doesn't come off as natural. I don't know. Maybe he's a natural heel, and maybe we're going to see him go back to being a heel soon, because maybe he just can't. He's not cut to be a babyface.
Yeah. What you think, Lou?
I don't know what to think, actually.
Exactly.
Part of me is saying let's wait and see, but how many times are we going to wait and see with Chad Gable? He went from American Alpha to Shorty G to Grande Americano. I mean, he's had so many character makeovers, and I really enjoy his work. At one point, I considered him to be the next Kurt Angle, but he just doesn't have, like, he's got the build, but he doesn't have the size. And I know the size doesn't always matter. You hear that, ladies? But I know that size doesn't always matter, right? And like, especially in today's professional wrestling, especially in today's wrestling scene. But there's some talent. I hit upon this. I think it was like an episode or two ago where sometimes it's on the talent, regardless of how many times you book them. There's just something missing where they cannot get over that boulder in the road, if you will. We saw this with John Morrison. John Morrison comes immediately to mind.
Good point.
John Morrison is an excellent worker. I think one of the greatest in-ring workers of the 21st century. But he could never get that top spot because there's just something missing. You know, we have wrestlers that have that it factor, it also goes for the guys who can't get over. They're missing that it factor, but they have a factor, all right, but it's a barrier that prevents them from truly elevating. I don't know what it is with Chad Gable. I really don't know, because he can talk on the mic, he can wrestle his ass off. I don't know. He might just be on his last legs. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is a funny one.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I like Chad. I really do.
Yeah.
Homeboy brought out his whole family. He touched my heart right here, man. He had me. I was one of those people that he had me. And now I'm just like, damn, you can't. It's just something just doesn't. It just seems put on sometimes. Like, it seems like he's trying too hard, Yeah. And hell, and listen, we recommended this for Lyra. Put him in the mask. Put him back in the mask. Put him back in the mask.
La Loba.
And give him a first class flight back down to Mexico City. Like, I mean, what are we talking about?
Hey,
maybe
that was working really well.
It was working pretty good.
He's a damn legend.
I'm just saying.
It was amazing.
I think something that they could do, and they haven't tried yet with him, is get him into like a best of 7 type match with someone who's also really good in the ring, and just have his in-ring work do the work for him. Because I think he's not great on the mic. He's not the best on the mic. Just let his in-ring work do the talking for him. Maybe give him a mouthpiece. Maybe Paul Heyman or something. Like, give him something to make him feel a little more special. Because I think that's what's missing. He doesn't have like Lewis says, he doesn't have the it factor. But maybe you could hide that by giving him a mouthpiece or something.
Yeah,
I don't think that's gonna work, man.
I
think we've exhausted all options with Chad Gable at this point.
I don't know if the mouthpiece
we could
would
try
work.
the mouthpiece, but I feel like that would come across goofy. Like, why does he need a mouthpiece? We know he can talk on the mic.
Yeah,
like,
we've heard him talk.
He's not one of the greatest promo cutters in the company, but like he's serviceable on the mic. Let's just put it that way. But I really think we've exhausted all options with Chad Gable.
Is he a case of being in the wrong company? Would he be more over in a more wrestling-based company like
that's
AEW?
Valid. That is a very good question. Would he be more over in AEW because it's a different audience? AEW, you don't need so many bells and whistles because that audience, and it's so crazy how we've now come to the point where we can easily identify who AEW's target fan base is. And it's like, yes, the sickos, but it's really the ones who prioritize in-ring action first, character development second, in a weird way. Like, AEW fans want character development. We want storyline progression, obviously, because it's pro wrestling. But maybe he would thrive in an environment like that where we want to see bell-to-bell action on a Saturday night for Collision or a Wednesday night on Dynamite.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe he actually does need a change of scenery. I would probably, I don't know. I would think like this should be this should be his last run contractually with WWE. I don't know what his contract situation is like, but I would hope that he would explore that option of at least entertaining the option of coming to AEW.
Yeah, we shall see where the saga of Chad goes, man. And I just don't sing and dance, man. Which he stopped on Monday, by the way. I don't even think he even dared to do that, which is a good look. But fellas, we got to talk a little bit about the next big baby faces. We're calling this one. We got Solo Sikoa himself, who I always thought he would be somebody. And he is showing up like nothing before. And then you got LA Knight, who's become like the legit voice of reason of why you should hate the bloodline. Like, he's the only one in the entire company who is making sense on why you should hate the bloodline. And both of these gentlemen are over like Rover. The crowd loves them. They are showing personality. And Sikoa, I'm calling it. Sikoa is going to blow up if they do this right. Now, this story they're telling, right now is probably for the advancement of Jacob and himself becoming a massive babyface and moving him into the spot he should have been in months ago, but some injuries and some bad booking happened. So it's probably for him. But at the same time, if we could get a win, if we could get 2-for-1, if we could get a Solo and Jacob coming out of this better than ever, that's a huge win for WWE in terms of lining up legitimate baby faces to go against the heels that they have on these shows. Fellas, are we looking at, and besides the bigger names, I'm not talking like an Oba, who's massively over. I'm talking about like legit white meat baby faces. Are we looking at the two gentlemen who are going to lead WWE into the future? Lewis, what's your thoughts, man? Oh,
No.
Whoa.
As for the future, for Solo, yes. For LA Knight, no, and only because the age plays a huge factor. This man is in his 40s, so now they're just striking while the iron is hot with LA Knight. And look, I guess I like LA Knight. He's not like one of my favorites or anything, but I'm entertained by him whenever he cuts a promo. And I think his in-ring work is decent, but he definitely is over. To your point, like he is really over. And when I went to Raw a few months ago, that crowd reaction was he had one of the top pops of the night. Let's just put it that way. And he pushes the merch. The kids like him. Most of the adults like him. He does have a natural charisma, and I think he definitely can be a top babyface for the next year or two. It just depends on how healthy he stays. But I think Solo is more long term. I love the complete 180 that they've done with Solo over the past year. His presentation is just significantly different. He's tapping into the comedy, which has been so effective. Like he is himself. The enforcer gimmick that they were trying to push onto us when he was the enforcer of the bloodline, it just didn't work because I couldn't buy it. I couldn't buy Solo as like the heavy of the group. But I can buy this where he's the sarcastic sibling of the bloodline, the sarcastic, annoying cousin, but he's just so good at what he does whenever he's giving jabs. And he's a good in-ring worker too. So, but yeah, I'm like 50-50 as far as like the next big baby faces. Like LA Knight, I think his window is shorter just because of his age. But you definitely got to keep your foot on the gas with Solo for sure.
Good points. Joel, what's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, man, I'm liking what Solo's doing right now. I think Solo is at the top of his game right now. And like Lewis said, I think just being himself has been such a good like direction for him as a character. Because you could tell he's the type of guy that like even backstage, he's probably the type of guy that just has everybody cracking up. Like he just seems like the class clown type of guy. And like just leaning in on that is like the perfect use for him. I am a little bit hesitant to call him the next big babyface just because they kind of do have a little bit of like a weird like bottleneck when it comes to like who's gonna be the next person. Like, and that's kind of the story they're trying to tell with like Oba and Braun. Now you got Solo in the mix, like you mentioned. You got Jacob Fatu, who's probably gonna be a really big babyface eventually when this story is completed. So like there is a couple people kind of all vying for that top spot, which is actually a good position for WWE because usually they don't know how to build new stars. So it seems like they are actually trying to combat that as Roman and Cody and Punk and all these guys are getting closer to like the tail end of their career. So I'm excited to see who ends up grabbing that top spot. I think there is going to be a little bit of a race there when it comes to like all those guys. But for now, like, hopefully they just keep Solo in this. I'm nervous that they are going to pull him back into this damn bloodline. Like keep him away from the bloodline. Like, yeah, let's use it as a way to propel him to a babyface, but please don't make him get back with the family or do all that crap. I'm tired of the damn family. Like, let's keep it moving. I
agree.
I'm tired. And everyone was giving this main event segment praise, but I just couldn't get past the point that we've seen this already multiple times. Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, now Solo. They all do the same thing where they turn and everybody's so shocked that the person that wasn't fucking with them at all turned on them. Like literally for months at this point, he's been like, I don't like you guys. I don't want to be with you guys. He literally has said it.
Yeah.
And then they all still get shocked when he turns on them. Like obviously he's not going to go. So like yeah, it was a good segment at the end of the day. It makes Solo a bigger babyface, but I'm tired of that trope. They got to get rid of that trope and just like let him be his own person, and hopefully we get to that point. LA Knight, on the other hand, like Lewis said, I think it is a little bit too late for him to be the top babyface. But you could have him, maybe he gets like a 1 month title reign or something like that. Yeah. If he gets the opportunity to, something like a Sami Zayn run where he just gets the title and then loses it right away, something like that. But I don't see him ever being the top babyface, unfortunately.
Yeah, LA, I like LA. He's got personality. He can talk great talk around the mic. He commands the crowd, all that good stuff. But yeah, you're right. Maybe it's just a little too late to push him in that capacity. But in terms of putting him in some massive storylines where he can be effective, I think you can use him anywhere. You could plot him in as that guy who you need to like lift up a heel, like in terms of like a massive baby face versus a big heel kind of thing. Yeah. And I think you could still utilize him. Age ain't nothing but a number, right? Isn't that what Aaliyah said? Or something, or someone, but what I'm saying, yeah, right? Sikoa, though, man, that's a big one, man. He's got so much upside, And you know what I noticed is on Raw, he seemed to have a lot more. The brothers seemed very different. Like Jay and Jimmy seemed more playful, more animated, more into what they were doing when they had this Solo in the group, and it just seemed like they just played off well with each other. And obviously, you would think so because they're all brothers, right? So there's probably this playful, joking kind of thing with them that they can bring from real life to on screen that just works for what they're doing right now. Yeah. And I just love that dynamic too. So, sky's the limit for Solo. We shall see. But again, fellas, we all know WWE. I don't know if I trust or have hope in those writers in that writing room to be like, you know what? We're gonna make him today and doing it right. Like I just right now, so far so good. But sustaining it and making it bigger and bigger and bigger, I don't know, man. They're gonna have to find another AI chatbot to write that script because I don't know how they're going to do that, but we'll see.
Well, maybe they're actually doing some really long-term storytelling and building towards War Games at Survivor Series because we don't have a lot of PLEs. Actually, we only have one PLE before Survivor Series, which is Money in the Bank. Yeah. So because there's no official PLE for September, you got Money in the Bank in early October, and then you have Survivor Series. You got Sunday night's main event next month, and then you might have another Saturday night's main event. But as far as PLEs are concerned, it's just Money in the Bank that's next on the calendar. So I'm wondering, what that War Games Survivor Series thing is going to be like. Because you got to have 5 on one side and 5 on the other. So exactly, they're probably just starting to plant the seeds for that.
Yeah. We'll see, man. That's a big possibility. This all could also be just for setup of War Games. So we'll see, fellas. We'll see. Listen, man. Speaking of we'll see. We gotta talk a little bit about what we think. What we think of Becky Lynch, the returning Stephanie Vaquer, and my girl, the greatest champion of all time, Liv Morgan. Well, I don't really believe that, but I am a Liv Morgan. I am a Liv Morgan fan, but I don't believe all that stuff. But this is interesting, though. This has really got my attention. Stephanie is back, loved she can go. She looks good. She's got this. She's got full package essentially, right? Then you got Liv, who is the holder of the title. You know, she's essentially the company's favorite right now, and kind of untouchable in a lot of aspects, right? And then you got Becky, the legend. She did amazing heel work. She's back with this new persona. She's been back with this new persona that's, very fun, very heelish, does its job, and she can still go in the ring. Do we? I don't know where we might go with this. It could be a 3-way. It could be Stephanie versus Becky first. It could be a Stephanie versus Liv. Not quite. No, I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm very intrigued by these three and to see where the story progresses. Now, fellas, in your opinion, what do we think of this? Is this money? Is this a money match? Is it money if it's three of them? Or if it's individually, if you play around with them in terms of a Becky versus Stephanie first, and then the winner gets to Liv, maybe you do that. Where do you think WWE is possibly going to go with this, man? Joel, what do you think?
Yeah, man, I'm definitely intrigued by this story. I think Becky is a great addition to the main event title scene. She took a while to build that IC title division, and she made that title relevant, and now she's back for the main title. And I think it helps everyone involved. I think Stephanie Vaquer, as much as two of us on this podcast adore her, you still have the doubters out there that needs to be convinced. So I think Becky will help those type of people, help Stephanie in the long run, building her over, because that's what Becky does. Becky is really good at getting people over, honestly. She helped with Lyra. She helped with Sol Ruka. She's really good at putting people over and building them up. So I think Becky being involved in this storyline kind of gives it that necessary spice to it. Because we saw Liv and Stephanie at WrestleMania. They had a 6-minute match. It wasn't anything to write home about. And now maybe with the inclusion of Becky, maybe they could get, like you said, a triple threat match in either one of these upcoming PLEs or special events or whatever. And then, we could see a type of barn burner of a match between Stephanie and Becky Lynch if they want to go that route of singles match. I think that would be a really good match too. I haven't seen Becky really work a wrestler as good as Stephanie Vaquer in a long time, I feel like. So I feel like they could potentially put on a really good match.
Yeah, that's true.
And Stephanie Vaquer, as much as we want to, you could say that she might be missing certain aspects of her character, or maybe she's not the best talker, even though I do think she's getting better on the mic. But we can't deny her in-ring ability. Her in-ring ability is incredible. I think she's one of the best women on the roster. So her versus Becky Lynch, I'm down to watch that match if there's no title involved. So we could do something there. And then obviously Liv Morgan, she could probably sneak a win while these two are feuding or something like that, and just keep this feud going for a while. So I'm excited to see where they go with all this. And then you have a bunch of women that we are still waiting to hear back from, who might be returning. Rhea Ripley is hanging around. I know she just had surgery, so maybe she comes back and gets involved here. You have Bianca Belair just had a child, so she's probably coming around in a couple months. So the women's division is definitely picking up in WWE, and I could feel Liv Morgan might be holding that title for a long time, the way that she's being presented right now, and her calling herself the greatest women's champion of all time. So I feel like what we're going to see here is these two, Stephanie and Becky, are probably going to cancel each other out, and Liv will continue to hold on to this title for a while, and then we'll see who will be her final competitor at next year's WrestleMania or something like that. I could see her holding the title for a long time.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, I think she might be holding this title for a while. Lou, I know your girl Stephanie's in this picture. I know how you feel about her. All right, I know how you feel. But what's your thoughts, man? Is this a money match? What we thinking? Where's this gonna go? What's your thoughts?
First of all, this AI image is fucking terrible. This shit looks nothing like Stephanie Vaquer.
I know it doesn't.
Morgan,
they got
her
Becky
looking
spot on.
like
Becky's
Liv Morgan, we got her looking like Pamela Anderson meets Trish Stratus, and then Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is probably the most accurate one here.
Becky's
That
hella
looks
accurate.
nothing like Stephanie Vaquer in the middle.
But
But in
when I
any-
saw, I was like, oh,
in
this
any
is
case,
this is good. This is interesting.
This is easily the most interesting that the women's title picture on Raw has been. I can't help my laughter. We're gonna be distracted by this AI. Okay, let me
Where do they pick these pic-
let
where
me
do they get
gather
these
myself
pictures
here.
from?
So this is the most interesting that the Raw women's title picture on Raw has been since WrestleMania, I guess, when Stephanie was feuding with Liv, and Becky Lynch's inclusion in it is excellent because who one of y'all hit on a good point. I think it was Kayode that Becky Lynch is really good at getting people over because of her track record and whatnot. And Stephanie could use a dance partner like that. Stephanie hasn't had a feud or an angle to sink her teeth into and develop more with someone like a Becky Lynch. She came in, well, rather got called up to the main roster. She was feuding with people like Nikki Bella. I mean, Becky Lynch is like, that's legit. Like, to Joel's point, I could see those two fighting without the title. Like, those are two world-class female wrestlers. A triple threat match is money. Liv Morgan versus Stephanie, a rematch is money because Stephanie would want her win back. And then, of course, the biggest money match here is Stephanie versus Becky. But even if you did Becky versus Liv at any given point, so there's a number of ways that can go about this. And going back to the upcoming PLEs, you got Money in the Bank, right? So Money in the Bank's placement on the calendar is, I'm telling you, it's very interesting, and I almost feel like it's strategic that they're putting it this late on the calendar year so that it could be on people's radar really close to like the big PLEs like Survivor Series, their Royal Rumble, and their WrestleMania. Because typically Money in the Bank is like early summer. So, if the person doesn't cash in at SummerSlam, then you kind of have it drag on a little bit. But this one is, there's some. I'm interested, and this is the most interested I've been in WWE as a whole in a long time. And it makes me happy because I'm a WWE lifer. I got fucking WWE posters right behind me. I want this company to thrive, and I think I speak for all three of us. I know I speak for all three of us. We don't want the company to fail. Like, we shit on the company because they've been putting out mediocre stuff over the last 2 years. But they're slowly getting back to really recapturing my interest, which is nice.
Yeah, they're slowly doing that. And I think with this and the Solo and the Oba and Braun, which is very interesting. I'm loving what they're doing with that. I'm loving the fact that, we don't know where Paul lies, but we can kind of guess, right? I'm feeling a swerve coming on here, but you got that. And
SmackDown's been pretty good too.
SmackDown's been pretty good.
Also, I hear.
They gotta keep up with the consistency. Now, here's the thing, and again, fellas, I just don't want to keep sounding like a broken record here, but I just don't have that much faith in that they will realize what they have and stick with it and build it and make it interesting. I think right now, the company's kind of in it for the money. Like, whatever the biggest moment they can produce is what they're going to do. It's a moment. It's a moment thing. A social media clip, a $2 to $5 million, 2 to 5 million views kind of thing. That's what they're aiming for. They're not aiming for five-star matches being talked about on wrestling podcasts about the banger of matches. They kind of shied away from that. That's not what this company is about. So that's why I'm a little apprehensive in thinking that, yes, we're seeing the foundations from some good programs here, but will they do it justice? And I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. How you know? I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know where they're going. How you know?
And a great segue right there.
Good segue for us. Yes, thank you, Lou, Joel, because I got to show some love here, man. I got to show some love to the one and only Andrade. Let's. This is a double. This is a showing love, an impromptu showing love to not only Andrade, but AEW for knowing how to book this man into being to getting over and getting crowd cheers. My man's got new music, a new Tron video,
catchphrase.
He's got a title. Like, listen, Andrade is doing his thing. I'm so happy for him. I've always been a fan of Andrade. I just thought he was just being used wrong, and just the writers or whoever was working with him just didn't know how to write and do for him, right? And I think he's probably as most comfortable with who he is, and also super confident in the ring. But what he's been doing has just been solid, and I'm actually really looking forward to the MJF and Andrade match at All In. That's gonna be a fire match. I mean, they're gonna put on a great match. We all know that. But man, I gotta show some love, and I know you guys are with me because we've been talking about it, to Andrade and AEW just for killing it right now, y'all. What's your thoughts on Andrade?
Yo, for real, man. Like, Tony Khan is the only one that has been able to crack the code with Andrade.
The code,
whatever cheat code it was, and it took 2 stints with the company to finally get it right, but he finally has gotten it right. Like, Andrade is firing on all cylinders. He is in tip-top shape. He's the national champion. Like, you hit on all those good points, like the presentation. He just comes across really cool, very organic, very authentic, and his in-ring work just speaks for itself.
Oh, yeah.
And his English has gotten a little better too over the years. I'm just very, very happy for him. You know, from the moment that it's hard to believe that I was in attendance for his first NXT championship win when he beat Drew McIntyre.
Damn, yeah.
And I immediately thought, like, yo, when this guy gets called up, when he gets called up to the main roster, he's gonna be a big deal. It didn't turn out that way, but now, almost a decade later, it's amazing to see, like, he's finally there. He's finally reached his potential, and I still think he can go up from here. So, Andrade, he's killing it right now.
Killing it. Joel, what's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I agree, man. I love Andrade. I think it goes back to what we were talking about with Chad Gable as well. Like, he's in the right company. Like, AEW is for the sickos, right? We want good matches, and who better than Andrade? He's one of the best workers in the world right now, and you don't even have to give him much. He has like the catchphrase, how you know, like, it's the simplest thing ever. And then just the presentation with the ladies and him taking the selfies, like, it's not much, but just those little bells on top of a great wrestler is enough to get over with the AEW crowd. And now he's at the point where he is one of the biggest baby faces in the company. And we got to give props to MJF too, because MJF is, I believe this is Lewis's wrestler of the year so far, MJF. And I think he's proven it again in the fact that he's always relevant, even if he doesn't have the world title. Yeah, he's claiming to be the real world champion right now, but he doesn't need that title to be relevant. And you can see that by how relevant his opponents become. Like, now Andrade is one of the top baby faces because he's feuding with MJF. Like, we want to see that match. We want to see that match as soon as possible, and we can't wait for that match. And it's because MJF is such a good heel. And Andrade now, in turn, has become such a good babyface. So, hell yeah, props to Andrade. I think, like you mentioned, he's always kind of been at the cusp of almost being a star. And now he's finally got to that point. And I could see him being AEW World Champion one day. I hope he becomes the first Latino AEW World Champion. I think that'd be great.
I could totally see that. I couldn't see it a year ago. I could totally see that now. Like, if he were to win the championship at, like, Full Gear or World's End or something like that, like, I could 100% see it, and the fans would eat it up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think of Andrade
He
becoming
would look
world
great
champ.
with the belt too. That belt.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. But if you're gonna, if anybody right now, the way he's going, I can't see why not, man. Like the man's over.
Watch out, Will Ospreay.
Watch out, Will Ospreay.
Watch
Yeah,
out.
A lot of people. There's a lot of people. The Kyle Fletcher's getting close to like, hey, we might need to crown him soon.
Yep.
Like there's a lot of good wrestlers in AEW that deserve that top spot. So I'm excited to see what happens after All In.
Now, fellas, real quick, and I don't want to spend too much time on this because we still have a whole week and some change left before the actual event. But All In is coming soon, 11 days, and we got pretty much a solid card, about 9 matches. One extra match was announced today with that with the trios. It's a trios match. Whoever wants to fight apparently is going to fight. I'm assuming it's going to be all those trios teams. What are we thinking about the card real quick? Like we don't have to go match for match, but as a whole right now, just quick couple of thoughts of what you think of that card right now. Joel, what do you think?
I think the card is on paper incredible. Like I keep forgetting that there's these matches have been announced already, but like I was watching Collision, catching up on Collision, and the fact that we're getting the Young Bucks versus Edge and Christian, like who would have ever thought we would see this match? Like I never even thought this would be a possibility. And yes, I said Edge because that's how I think about it. Like we are getting Edge and Christian. Like if you told me that a couple years ago, I would have been like, wait, Edge came back? I would have been like, wait, Edge is wrestling again? Like just the fact that we have Edge in an AEW ring, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage versus the Young Bucks. That match, we know that match is going to be spectacular. Then you have obviously the 2 main events of Ospreay versus Omega and Willow versus Mercedes, which I'm excited for both of those matches. The builds have been really good for both of those matches. We saw today that pull apart brawl between Mercedes and Willow, which it felt like a real fight. We all were talking about it before we got on live here. And man, like they're really building these matches really well. I think the time that we've had, I feel like they had like extra time to build. And I think we spoke about this Kayode in another episode. We were like, oh, are they going to be able to hold up the momentum? And they've been able to do so. I feel like this extra time has actually allotted the stories to like be explored a little more and give us like more excitement to actually get to All In. So hell yeah, I'm excited for this card. This card's on paper. This card seems amazing.
Yeah, Lou, I'm assuming you feel the same way, man. We kind of
I concur 100%. I think one of my most anticipated matches is the triple threat for the international title. That has the potential to be a match of the night candidate, match of the year candidate,
match of the decade.
match of the decade.
Honestly,
yeah. This I was just telling the missus earlier, like, yo, next Sunday afternoon, I'm locked in.
Yeah,
I don't want to run no errands. I don't want to do no chores. I'm locked in for 5 hours next Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, man.
Breaking out the grill, the burgers, the wings, whatever. Don't bother me.
Yeah. That's a locked in pay-per-view for sure. Like from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We're looking forward to it here on the Mark Wrestling Podcast. We are ready for some All In. We're liking what WWE is doing, so don't let us down. We got our hopes up for some of the superstars and wrestlers that are in some pretty big programs. So we're looking forward to that. Thank you for joining us for episode 144 of On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. On the Mark at Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all that good stuff. Check out the clips, comment, all that stuff. Thank you for everybody showing us love at On the Mark. We appreciate y'all. And until next time, y'all, peace.
You have just listened to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, a Scriptly adapted production. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at On the Mark Wrestling. And email us on onthemarkpodcast@gmail.com.